Mm, 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 mm. Ba, 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 boards. G- 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 Board games, board games, it's what we're talking about. Board games, board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this morning with a little bit of singing, and today we're talking about whatever comes to our heads and sing it with each other. Well, I'm not going to say whatever because there's still a limit, but you know where that is. Yes, please, you know it. But basically, we can be silly. Yes, that is something we're allowed to be. I say we're allowed to be it as if we're not allowed to be it any other day. I mean, come on, let's be honest. It's like we're just gonna play around with the show as if the show itself is a game. And maybe it is, although it's kind of lame, but sorry, I feel like it's problematic to use the word lame as a slur, so let me try and rewind that. And just a quick hello to Xate, and thank you for dropping in. And board games and ridiculousness, it's what we're talking about. Board games and possibly business. I'm not going to shout. Hello and good morning to Xate. And I am Bez. This is the Bezzy Bath Time board game blether. And whoops, I was just about to do. I'm just going to pop up the banner. It's I am Bez. We are blethering. There's going to be at least two board games mentioned because I did get to play these two yesterday. And coming up today, we are doing the Friendly Friday forum. And so before I yeah, before I send out the link to all the places, I just want to, um, yeah, you know the rules. Basically, if I know your face, then you are allowed to come on. And hello, Xate. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Christina Lauro Pollock. It is lovely to see you all. And if you would like to be on the other side of the screen, if you'd like to be typing away, that's completely fine. If you would like to join me on camera, any of you three, just make sure that I know who you are and just join in and just be like, yeah, boom, let's just talk about whatever. Because let's start talking about how we are. Let's start talking about what we've been up to and share all those moments with everyone else. And so this is the Friendly Friday Forum. Yeah, this is the kind of cheeky messages that Xates keeps sending me. Pretty sure I don't know who Xates is after having met them. When was it? Once at Dragon Meet. Was that it? I feel like I definitely met you a second time. Once at Dragon Meet. Oh, the UK Games Expo. That was the second time. Phew. Yeah, once around UK Games Expo, and then nothing. That was 2019. Has it really been a year and a half since we last saw each other, Xate? And so, yeah, was it really a year and a half? Is that right? Um, and hello, Rob. It is lovely to see you. And so, yeah, I want to ask everyone to kind of say anything about what they've been up to recently. What's your recent highlights? What's your recent achievements? Or what's something you've enjoyed? Or what's just something that's happened to you recently that you would like to share? And when I say highlights, it can be, dramatic moments because this is Friday. And on Fridays, things are a little bit different. We don't always, yeah. And so Xate does confirm that we met the day before Dragon Meet, the first time in 2018, and then the last time a few days after UK Games Expo 2019 in the Sky Gardens. I was right. We've only basically met two times. Like once around Dragon Meet. When I say two times, I mean like a whirlwind romance. When I say romance, I mean like a whirlwind of friendship and happiness and joyful moments. of playing games together and playing Euphoria and playing. There was a game that I think that Sate was testing, or was Denim testing? I can't really remember. In the Sky Gardens, who was testing a game? I can't remember, but that was a good time. And thank you for booking those tickets. And so, yeah, that was a long time since I've seen you. Elaine wants to share a highlight. There was a robin on the bird feeder in the garden this morning. That's a highlight for me today. That sounds wonderful. I mean, yeah, just seeing birds even coming up to your bird feeder. Do you have like one of those wooden ones that are like on a tall stick, and then there's like a little house type thing that's kind of is cute for humans, but there's like a little hole, and then they go in. It was, yeah. So yeah, robins are good. And so, oh shoot, we both forgot. I stayed with Sate very briefly. We met at Essen 2019, true story. Yeah, that is true. Sate came by the stand. We didn't spend much time chatting together, and I stayed in the room opposite, but we spent a total of about 5 minutes talking. That wasn't much quality time, was it? That's the thing about Essen. I mean, look, conventions. Let's talk about conventions. Conventions are a great, and yeah, sure, it's a total of 8 meetings or whatever, but you know what I mean. It's like when you meet someone like for a week, and then it's like, okay, not meeting them for a few months, and then, but like, what I like to say is that, like, let's talk about conventions. So UK Games Expo, okay, it's pretty busy. If you come and we spend time at UK Games Expo, I'm not going to have lots of time for you. Let's be honest, the same is now hopefully going to be true of any board game convention I go to, because if I go to a board game convention, the truth is that and hello Dutch, it's lovely to see you. We are just talking about whatever comes to our heads within a kind of you know, within a respectful nature. We want to keep it respectful. But if you want to talk about board games, or you want to talk about not board games, or you want to say you're doing well, or you want to say you're not doing well, that is all totally okay. And because Friday, Friendly Friday Forum is the show all about chaos, you are allowed to. Oh, I should have taken off Facebook and YouTube out of that second comment. But you are allowed to follow that link that I've just shared and jump in if I know who you are. So like if you pop in and you say Brian, but like if you were like, I don't even know your real name. Do you want to share your real name? If you just want to say Dutch Yoda and then do the pronouns, that's totally fine. But, if you don't want to do the pronouns, we'll establish them on screen. I was actually chatting to someone the other day, Calvin and Dee, and yeah, we're saying that the pronouns could be confusing. And I was saying that at some point I want to explain why I have pronouns the way I do, and why pronouns are important to me, why I have hold on, she/they. Should I, because this is the Friendly Friday Forum, should I just answer the door? I mean, should we just do it? This has never been done before, but let's just do it, because it's the kind of craziness we get up to on the Friendly Friday Forum, because let's be honest, I don't know if anyone else is going to, but it is apparently. Hello, how are you? Very well. Thank you very much. You too. And it is a parcel, but it is unfortunately not for me. But don't worry, that does remind me that I do have other things that I could do an unboxing of. I have a lot of Oxeye Media, Deep Water Games, that's the one. I have some of their stuff. I'm going to pick up that little box that I have that I still haven't properly opened, because a lot of it is 2-player only, and whilst I do play a whole bunch of 2-player games, my time spent gaming is more often 3 players these days, because it's myself and Chris and Nicole. Anyway, back to the comments. Dutch's name cannot be written on Twitch, says Xate. Like, if you copy paste it, maybe it could be written on StreamYard. Give it a wee try. Dutch Yoda would love to join, but is really working. Are you really working, or do you just mean that in reality you're working? I'm assuming the latter, and it's just a pretense of working. Like, you're working, but you're kind of listening, or maybe you are actually working, and this is making you be more productive. In which case, brilliant. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't let you all say hi to the post person. Hello, and no, I'm not going to open up George's stuff. Um, so, recent highlights. Let's get back to recent highlights. Oh yeah. So Xate was talking about how Xate's friend put a bike together, but neither of us have a bike pump. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. So Xate needs a bike pump. I hope that you can find someone, within the next couple of days. I'm assuming that you have gotten the bike. I hope that you've gotten someone to have a bike pump. And hello Mel, it is lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. And if anyone wants to join me on camera, just let me know. Yoda is releasing websites right now. The clients want to test the new changes. Sounds exciting. So I guess this is a moment of waiting for things. And we've not even gotten to my recent highlights because this is the way that it goes. We're going to be distracted. But before we get to I just want to share that I do want to talk about conventions just for 5 minutes because, during an actual convention, if I'm there as a publisher, like if I'm there showing my stuff, if I'm there, selling my stuff, if I'm there trying to get people interested in my stuff, if I'm there trying to connect with other publishers, potentially pitching to people, that's a lot to get on with. And whilst I love, I'm not going to say that I've never got to dull moments either. There's plenty of dull moments at Aircon, at UK Games Expo. There's basically never a dull moment. Essen, there is occasionally a dull moment because yes, it is a very big, very busy convention overall. But those few moments when I would say there's dull moments like of about maybe 10 seconds when there's occasional moment. And also at the start of the morning, there might be, a dull moment of about 5 minutes when no one's walked past the table yet, maybe even 30, the first day, like 1 hour, because if you're a small publisher, everyone races to the big publishers first. But the point isn't whether I have a dull moment or not. The point is that it's a busy time. And I love meeting people, but at a convention, it's not the best time to really socialize. Do you know what I mean? Because it is very much a case of, engaging with people and being like, yeah, let's play this game. It's like full on promotion mode. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm sure you know what I mean. Like, you're intelligent people. Come on. You're watching this show. I mean, I don't know how good a decision that was, but yeah, my point, and Rob says that they loved the time at conventions before they open. If Rob's got an exhibitor's pass, doing a quick run around and saying hello to friends before those friends are too busy. I would agree with that. I love my favorite time of Essen. It's like Wednesday, I want to say. I'm fairly because officially it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Wednesday's like a good time to walk around. Lots of people are kind of set up. You can say hello, you can try their things, and it's definitely easier to actually get around. Same with UK Games Expo. Like I've actually never. Oh my gosh, there's literally So I've only ever gone to one convention without being either an exhibitor or a volunteer. My first convention ever was UK Games Expo 2011. When was your first convention? Let me know. So my first convention, UK Games Expo 2011, and because I've got the volunteer badge, I can go in really early, but I've actually got to do some work at that really early time. I've got to start working at like Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? No, I think it might have been first. Anyway, I can't remember. It was UK Games Expo. We were putting chairs around, putting tables around, putting stuff in the old hotel where it used to be Clarendon Suites, I want to say. Anyway, before they moved across Birmingham to the other side. And yep, I agree with this. You watch me, therefore your intelligence. And are there any conventions I go to just for fun? Well, that's what I was saying, that there's just one. But like, what do I do just for fun? So like, when I'm a volunteer, being a volunteer is fun. Like, that's why I went to UK Games Expo 2011, because 2011 it was like all about, yeah, enjoying myself and being able to sort of subsidize that trip, being able to go in for a little bit less, not having to worry about my space. And yes, it still cost me money, but it meant that it was a cheaper trip than it would have otherwise been able to be. And it's really good. If you've not volunteered for UK Games Expo, they're so generous. They give you a place it's at the Hilton. It's amazing. It's like a phenomenal hotel. Like, you share a room with someone else, and then you get to meet this hopefully friend. That's one thing. You're at the Hilton. You make sure you pack your swimming trunks, because and then in the morning you get a free buffet breakfast. And if you really pig out on it, then that'll do you until lunch, and then they give you these coupons for a free dinner, and then that'll do you like for all your meals. And yeah, and it does subsidize it, but it is fun. Like, working with other people, it's fun. It's like enjoyable, and I would not go there if it wasn't fun. I mean, frankly, even as a publisher, even all this selling of games, and how much am I actually making? I mean, yeah, like, I'm not even sure whether I'm technically in the black or not. Like, honestly, okay, so like, in a bind, that whole saga, it did net me money even before it became Yogi. I sold them for the records like 3,000 of the original, pretty much, and a couple of thousand of the junior, and half a thousand of the expansions. It was easy to sell, and it was like people were buying it. And then when it was like, okay, Wibble plus plus, and then I moved to that, and it's like, wow, this is such an effort to sell, and people were enjoying it, but it takes more time to explain what's going on. So then suddenly, rather than being able to almost make money at Essen, then I was like, okay, losing 200 quid, which it was still worth it for advertising, let's be honest. But yeah, getting my stuff into Australia and Belgium, is that where the Bastard Cafe is? But all these things. Anyway, my point is that all has to be fun. And all of this has to be fun for me. If it was not fun, I would not go at all. Like, if it was not fun, I would just be, working, selling Yogi, okay, working on Seize the Power, like, working on stuff for music, like, basically selling my stuff to publishers, because I am not, and I cannot repeat this enough, I am not a good enough business person to make self-publishing a properly profitable thing. And in some ways, like, my desire to be a bit of a perfectionist, like the fact that, yeah, in theory, maybe I should have just done a flat top reprint of Kitty Cataclysm and probably made some money on it before I left, but I want to make it better and do that second edition. But yeah, if the question you're asking is, are there any conventions I go to without being a volunteer, as I used to do, or without being a publisher, as I currently tend to do, the answer would be, I guess, toy fairs. I go as neither of those, but that's as a designer. I go around and I'm pitching stuff. Having said that, the first time I went to Toy Fair, London, it was just, hey, I can get to go here. I'm just running around. I'm not even pitching anything. I'm just playing with all those model trains and checking out this stuff. And again, it is fun for me, checking out what's there. But the one convention that I have been to without any hat on is the one in January in Conway called, Bastion. I want to say, yeah, Bastion. It's probably not going to happen next year, let's be honest. But Bastion, 50 people in a youth hostel, and it's wonderful. So that is my long-winded answer to that question. Now, Xate has never been to a convention just as a visitor. Rob's first games convention was probably in the late 80s, would have been a small local one. So you can see like Rob's, pretty old school, been in gaming for quite a while, longer than some of us. Mel has only been to Tabletop Scotland 2018 and 2019. So that was your first convention. And yeah, what's it, Duncan? And I'm trying to. Oh man, now I'm going to forget everyone's name and I'm going to. Okay, Duncan and everyone else involved did a really good job at Tabletop Scotland. That was brilliant. Like wide aisles. Yeah, you can really navigate that easily. If you're on crutches or if you're in a wheelchair, you could navigate Tabletop Scotland really easily. Good job. I mean, to do that one in Alexandra Palace, Tabletop Gaming Live, that was similar, but I think that was unintentional. That was just because they maybe didn't quite sell enough. Elaine has never been as a visitor, always as press, but of course, realizing how much less work that is for exhibitors or volunteers. Oh, how much less work press is than for exhibitors or volunteers. Elaine only volunteered once and was exhausted. So, Rob has been to quite a few conventions in the 90s, mostly play-by-mail conventions. Wait, so playing by mail, so is it like people that you're normally playing by mail, but then you get to see them, so you get to see them physically? That sounds good. That sounds really good. And Xate says, yeah, but then you have to make and edit all the videos after, so it evens out. I mean, it depends what kind of media person you are. I mean, I'm going to, you know what, sometimes I wonder if I should just give up on making games and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to start developing stuff and offering my developmental services and do like professional. No, that's a separate. But anyway, so like if I were ever invited somewhere for, I would be doing live shows. I would not be editing anything. That's what I would be doing. And it's all, but yeah, I know that most people do actual editing. Yeah, for sure, Elaine. Yes, I would agree. For Elaine, yep. For Elaine and Efka. Anyway, Yoda volunteers about 50% of the time, and Xate ended up working for 2 companies to make it financially doable. That made it super exhausting, says Xate. It was all paid for, though. Flight, with a week in London at friends in between. Trains, hotel, food, even a few games for my effort, says Xate. But I saw and did very little. Oh, you mean at the actual convention? So I think Xate's point is that if you end up working so much during the convention, you get to see very little. And I think this is what I'm getting at. Look, last time I was at UK Games Expo, it was brilliant. Oh my gosh, that reminds me, I should give a shout out that Alan Paul, so Dragon Meet Live, Dragon Meet Virtual, whatever you want to call it, is tomorrow. And Alan Paul and I are going to do a top 6 things you should know about making games at 12 o'clock. It's going to be via Dragon Meet, so it's going to be via their Zoom thing. We're really happy with our sets of notes, and we talked about it for an hour and a half preparing this 50 minutes talk we're going to give, and we're going to talk again tonight, which might be a shorter talk, but anyway. So yeah, that's where did I start? Oh yeah, so the point is that at UK Games Expo, I'm pretty busy, and Dragon Meet, same thing. It's be at my table, show off stuff, make sure that people who are showing off my stuff are doing a good job. If I'm free, then and other people are showing off my stuff, then I need to be behind them and making sure that they're showing off my stuff in a good way. And at Dragon Meet 2019, yes, Dragon Meet 2019, I was at the point where I was able to actually just step away and be like, okay, I'm not actually demoing anything. This is brilliant. This is the way that kind of it should be in some ways. And UK Games Expo 2019 and I believe 2018, it kind of got to the point where, okay, I'm not just sitting here demoing. I am just focusing on running these like 12, 15 people. And look, I'm not saying stand behind them in a bad way. Like, but yeah, I get people to demonstrate games to me a few times before we start. I get people to demonstrate games a few times to each other. I make sure to ship the games out to people, so hopefully they've got time to play with their friends. But when you're demonstrating a game in person, it's like, okay, maybe I say something and then I kind of mention it to them. Hey, how about you change up this for next time? And then, but my point is that yes, I my seeing other things is basically limited to maybe 30-40 minutes like of before the show opens. I run around and I see everyone. That's what part a big part of why I do that at UK Games Expo. And I'm like kind of going over and like before the show opens, like I run up and down the aisles. It's like a slalom, and that's probably why I've gotten a bit unfit because I've not done any running since like April. Like I got these trainers and I was all set to use them back in January, and I was like, yeah. Anyway, so back to the points. And Elaine, this is a lovely, lovely offer. If anyone in the chat or anyone you know is an exhibitor or volunteer and you see me when cons are a thing again, please do wave me over. Oh, please, please do wave me over if you need coffee or anything else. And this is so lovely. And I remember, like, at Essen, I once managed to get a spiral potato because, that person from I Play Red, I think, Cat something. Kat and Rob, those two people, those two lovely people. I Play Red. Anyway, so those two people brought me over a spiral potato, and I just like had told them beforehand, hey, if you do this, I would really appreciate it. And they brought me over one approximately at lunchtime, because the truth is, otherwise at Essen, from about 10 until maybe 5, and then 5 o'clock I tend to go to the loo. And but yeah, this is a lovely offer, Elaine. And say it would totally be too shy, but thanks. I mean, I fangirl crazily. Just reading you, meeting you would be that's injecting my noise for Excite. And Rob talks about play by mail conventions. We're partly meeting fellow players in real life and partly a marketing shopping thing. Big deal before we all had email and social media. I guess the internet really changed. And no, again, like this is the thing, like we're all humans, and like whether you've seen someone on like videos a lot or whether you've I guess in a way like streaming, corrects me if I'm wrong, but do you feel like streaming, because I read out your name and because I'm responding to you in real time, do you think that makes me intrinsically more approachable than someone who's just reviewing? Like, let's say I'd been doing this for, let's say 10 years, let's just imagine, and then someone had been watching for a while. Does that intrinsically mean that I would be more approachable than someone who's just done media that you can't interact with because maybe they've heard me call out their name and responding to their questions, so it makes it a little bit more approachable? Let me know what you think. Like that's anyway, my points about conventions is simply that what I really enjoy is the time like before and after it. Because going back to Dragon Meet, yeah, when Xates came over, that was a special time that we had. Our times of Royal Festival Hall and yeah, Euphoria, and kind of before and after, but there was a good kind of, it was like more of a week around it. But even generally, like Jason, when they're coming over to help me at Dragon Meet, they stay on Sunday. And so Jason and I then end up kind of playing games together on Sunday, and we play all sorts of things. Some of them things that I'm like, Jason, I think you will really enjoy this drop mix. You've got to try this. And Jason, of course, Jason enjoyed that. And then I'm like, okay, are you up for trying a few new L games? And Jason, yeah, of course. And then I might be like, hey, Jason, do you want to try some games that I just really enjoy? And then we'll play until the mid-afternoon before Jason goes back home. And that's like a lovely thing. And also having the next day, having, at Essen, it's like the after meal, the meal afterwards. Like the meal at UK and before, like at UK Games Expo, even with those people who I only see in Birmingham itself, I invite people to a meal beforehand on Thursday night, I want to say. Yep. No, first Thursday afternoon. I might me. So if you're helping me out, it's like, okay, Thursday afternoon we went to Las Iguanas and I I booked a table for like 15 people and we all had a really big meal and then we had a nice chat and it was good times. And then on Sunday afterwards, we were at Las Iguanas again and we played. Yeah, I think we did actually play a quick game before we went to Las Iguanas, before kind of clearing up and then going on our way because it was sort of sunny. And then we played one of the games that someone had got, because after the show, I go trading some of my stock with some of other people's stock, and that's how, yep, got Chronicles of Crime, and some people obviously of my volunteers wanted some of the Chronicles of Crime and things, and I make sure that everyone has. I make sure to pre-arrange stuff with publishers, so it's like, Lucky Duck, you know me, Vince, and you'll do me a solid, right? And whilst I've not reviewed them yet, but Fruit Ninja, Look, I'm just going to give my really quick 30-second analysis. Fruit Ninja is a really interesting mix of dexterity and, card drafting, but it doesn't quite work. And I will tell you why maybe on Sunday or next time I can have Chris. And Zombie Tsunami, it feels like there's an interesting, okay, which team are we going to be on, mixed with who are we going to mine, and when you mine someone, they lose half their zombies. Zombies are your resources. But having that, and it's the time afterwards that's, it's like, okay, let's enjoy the time afterwards. And what's our other people saying? Rob's remembering at Dragon Meet once, Rob was in the playtest space and pretty frazzled when Bev from Tinkerbots just brought Rob a coffee. It meant so much at the time. And getting a coffee or water means a lot at a con. Alley Cat Games was great about sending someone to get us all coffee. We even got to specify what drink we wanted exactly. But I worked another con where I had to ask if I could have a water, and they brought me a cup to go fill in the loo. Yeah, that's not great. I think that this should be a topic. Let me write it down somewhere. I've not. Wait, this is a medium pen. What am I doing with a medium one? Yep, fine. This is what you want. Fine. Sorry about this. So I'll just write down a quick note. Looking after helpers and volunteers. And I guess maybe we should talk about that for playtesting. And also I want to talk about, like, at some point, this whole, free labor, because it is a arguably problematic thing. And when you're asking someone to do free labor in return for a possible contract down the line. But like, I'm not going to. There's stuff that I don't feel entirely happy to talk about because of conflict of interest and companies that I have. Anyway, let's go back to the current section, which was meant to be recent highlights and achievements, e.g. games played. Yesterday I did some cooking. I cooked some meal for myself. I will, can I show you my pictures? I made a stir fry with the cheap sauce that I mentioned. I got this sweet and sour sauce for only 10 pence, and there was mushrooms. There was, what else was there? There was sweet pak choy, there was onions, and yep, it was really good. I am going to show you this screen. Hopefully it will work out. There we go. So that is it, cooking. There we go. And that is it. I know this is unorthodox, okay? after the udon noodles and everything, but I put a wee bit of cheese. I know some people might think that this is okay. This is subverting it to the point of ridiculousness, and you're just almost, yeah. What on earth are you doing, Bez? But I think that this works well. Peanuts for the crunch, and cheese. I know it's anyway. I was really chuffed. Oh yeah, there was a wee bit of celery again. I was really chuffed with what I did here, and that was my highlight. One of my highlights. My other highlight was going to the people that I often see, which is Chris and McCall. We played One Night Ultimate Werewolf about like 6-7 times. We started off between 4 and 7 times, let's say. I think it was maybe 5 or 6. But yeah, One Night Ultimate Werewolf, lovely game. If you are free players, you can totally make it work, but you have to have the more complicated stuff in there, like the doppelganger, and have a lot more going on. You need to be more on the ball. And then eventually McCall was like, this is just giving me anxiety. And what we discovered is that McCall likes Spyfall, partially because a lot of the time you're not even lying. Because if you play Spyfall or Gooseberry or Chameleon or Fake Artist in New York, any of those games, which follow a similar everyone knows a key fact, but one person doesn't, then you've got a low chance of being the person who actually has to lie. Whereas everyone else, it's kind of sussing out who is lying, and that's the thing. So whereas with something like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, even if you're on the human team, you kind of want to lie because you're not sure who you might be now. So you really want to be cagey. And so I think that was why it's like almost a more complex web of lies. I prefer this. Chris preferred this, but McCall didn't. So with that particular group of 3, won't play it again. But yeah, maybe if they were coming over, maybe if it was like 4 or 5 of us, which is viable, we'd definitely play this. We also played, well, bye Mel, it's lovely to see you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. If you've played Ultimate Werewolf, I think that you should definitely try One Night Ultimate Werewolf, because one night versions are a bit shorter, so I'd heartily recommend it. And I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. I totally agree with Jay Foolsguard. Peanuts is good in pretty much anything. Offers a bit of crunch, whether it's cake or stews or stir fry, but also basically stews and stir fry. You add it at the end. Not, you don't want to get your peanuts soggy. That would be no. Anyway, Rob had a very nice Chinese takeaway last night, so some leftovers for lunch. Incidentally, this included cheese and mushroom parcels, which are delicious. None of those left over. Sad times. Cheese and mushroom parcels. That doesn't sound... Is that Chinese cuisine? Is there much cheese in Chinese cuisine? I don't know even. And there was something about Sate having leftovers. There we go. Sate made red lentil chili and special mini pecan pies with vanilla ice cream to thank the friend. Oh, this was the friend who made the bike ages ago. Unfortunately, there are leftovers. This sounds amazing. Mini pecan pies and red lentil chili. I mean, that sounds pretty good as well. So, like, how spicy do you like it? Do you like really spicy? Do you like particularly spicy? Do you like mild? Let me know in the comments. What are your particular tastes when it comes to degrees of spiciness? Dutch Yoda had some Greek food yesterday, paid for by Yoda's boss, which made it extra delicious. It's like dumpster diving. If you are in a situation where you're going dumpster diving and then you get something from there, it's always tastier. And Rob says, I don't think cheese and mushroom is typical Chinese, but our local makes them, and we are very glad they do. Sate allows it, and Elaine is getting hungry. Well, let's all take a cold drink of water, or at least, I will. You can drink when you feel appropriate, but I need to, pause for a moment to drink and then talk about this. It does occur to me that having two people on a stream is definitely a wee bit easier, because I feel like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, people have an understanding that you're not going to be talking literally non-stop. You have to be taking breaks. But when there's someone else, and then it's like, okay, while you're taking breaks, now I'm going to mute myself, and then I'm going to have a drink, and then I'm maybe mute myself. Oh, now I'm plugging myself in because my computer's down to 25% or whatever. Anyway, and wait, Twitch filters seem very keen on filtering out things about countries, even when the topic is food. I didn't see what's happened. I wasn't on Twitch. Sorry, I like to try and keep that in a separate channel, because then I miss everything. Typical Chinese very? What? That was a banned term by... Whoa, that's crazy. Whoa, Rob's thing. Typical Chinese very has to be added as a permitted term. Yeah, I'm just curious. I know you have it covered, Xates. You are my number one mod, Xates. You know this. You are totally on the ball. Like, if this starts to one day be a paid channel, you'll be number one in the line to be a paid moderator. But... And that gets into the question of, paid volunteers. And, that's another topic that I should, the topic of free labor. Like, at what point is it okay to have free labor? I mean, and yeah, I don't want to get into that right now. I want to finish talking about my recent highlights and achievements. I just want to talk about Rocky Road a la mode. I'm not going to do proper review of this right now. I might do I feel like I'm going to keep this, but I feel like I'm, after only about 3 games, I'm starting to get to the point where I understand all the strategy, and it's starting to feel a bit done somehow, which is a bit sad. But I feel like it feels like a really nice game still. And for the record, at the end of last night, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I always do this at the end of Tuesdays. Why do I not do this with my friends? How much would you like to play this game again? And for One Night Ultimate Werewolf from McCall, it was like a single thumb down. For this, from everyone, it was a single thumb up. So we all kind of enjoyed it. It's like I was kind of more in the middle. Now, Rocky Road a la mode, you've got this little board where you're going ground with... Let me actually... You've got these cute little... it's all ice cream colours, and then you've got these little tokens that you might have on the board, and you've got these cards, and these are multifunction cards, which are both the contracts, essentially customers that you need to fulfill, and also you can use them as the ice cream in the top left. Yeah, top left. That's the kind of ice cream. So, and then this is what you get as a victory. So this gives you free achievements, free victory points, essentially. Some of them also help you build your engine. So this one gives you no victory points, but in future, you will get 1 pink ice cream to let you do stuff. And it kind of feels like there's not enough length in the ice cream to... oh my gosh, I just saw this. Xate is outraged that this is not a paid position. You waited 9 months? Sorry, this is not Xate's voice at all, just for clarity. I am not going to even try to do Xate's voice. Wait. Should I try to do Xate's voice, or should I just do a random silly voice? Oh, no, I'm feeling self-conscious about... So Xate says, you waited 9 months to tell me I'm not getting paid? Wait, This is not a paid position. I've been waiting for the check and was being patient about it. Anyway, yeah, back to Rocky Road a la mode. I do agree with J Fool's Guard. It is a lovely package, and I was almost half considering just playing it solo because I realised that, like what's that game that Chris likes? Amazing Labyrinth. You can play it one player. It's not meant to be played one player, but there's some chaos from other people. In here, other people don't even add that much chaos. It's minimal interaction. Okay, so there's a pool, there's a market of cards that you're drafting from, but you're going to have so many cards that you're going to have. I feel like I almost want to play this solo because it could just be how many spaces, how many time spaces does it take you to get victory? And I feel like I would be interested to just try and optimize that. I think I was 6 spaces short of optimization, but I went the route of, okay, increasing my engine with a couple of victory points, increasing my engine with a couple of victory points, increasing my engine with a couple of victory points, and then you get these little achievements that you're racing for. Oh dear. I didn't even show you the little achievements, and because there's these oh, look at these cute cards. I do love these psychedelic ice creams, and on one side it's the person selling it, and on the other side it's the person driving the van. Anyway, so the achievements, first person to get 3 blues has 4 victory points. Second person gets 2. And I won using this one, and I was like, wait a minute. I feel like there's basically 2 roads to victory, I've decided last night. And either you're going to do this, or you're going to go straight for the triple free achievements, which gives you the 9 victory points required to win. And you need to be somewhat lucky. Because McCall almost won, but didn't quite win it. There's also the wrinkle of ice creams in the road, that you pick up these ice creams in the road. Anyway, so I will properly give my thoughts about that. What was... And Sate is totally a Scottish grandmother waiting for the check and being very patient. And... Oh yes, okay, I see, because I'm doing the Xate accent. So Xate is, from now on, whenever I talk about Xate is going to be like a Scottish grandmother. I'm rather impressed. I don't know why I'm putting on a fake accent now. I'm rather impressed at myself, actually. I seem to have acquired that fine Scottish accent just by watching Twitch streams. That's me kind of trying to put on an old accent. I don't even know if do I sound Scottish when I put on a silly fake accent? Oh, apparently I still have a fake Scottish accent. Okay, anyway, so Rocky Road a la mode, I really like it. My issue with it is that I feel like I'm working on my own little puzzle. Like, there's not enough interaction for me and the other people at the table. And I feel like I'd rather be playing, Taj Mahal, where, we actually have some interaction, where we're kind of, okay, who's going for this, who's going for that, and we need to vie, and there's so much interaction in that game. In any auction game, it's all about the interaction. And so I think that more and more I'm just feeling like, you know what, I will probably play this solo. I might take it with me to Thailand, but especially in these days, when I don't get to see people as often as I'd like, I don't think I'm going to play this with, again, with Chris and McCall in the near future, but I think I might keep this one. Because also it's quite cute and small, and I think they do a lot of really nice things. Anyway, so apparently, Elaine accidentally sings the goodbye song in a poor Scottish accent. You know what? I am really bad at detecting accents. Anyway, I don't know why I have the Friendly Friday forum. at the bottom, like coming up today, you know what, we would not be in this situation with me on my own. It's like, just, that is what it is today. Let me change the banner at the bottom. It is Friendly Friday for him anyway. So does anyone have any more recent highlights or achievements that they want to talk about? I went to the post office, and that kind of feels like 70% of my achievements yesterday. I sent off I sent off a package of 40 sticker packs minus the Cat Ass trophy, which someone's going to give away as a little freebie, because I realize that I'm not going to be able to give away all of them, and they are kind of meant to be a promotional thing. So that's Borrow a Game is a new UK company that's renting out games, and everyone who gets a delivery from them while stocks last is going to get one of those wee sticker packs. And so can we get Elaine singing the song on camera? That's entirely up to Elaine. Like, Elaine, if you want to join us, you are very welcome to join us on. And Dutch Yoda got to world record on marbles on Twitch. Wow. I mean, a world record. A lot of people play that. So that feels like it's something to brag about. I mean, I am still going to brag about the fact that me and Xate have 100% love, according to Moobot. But, yeah, I'm disappointed, Elaine. But, you know, I respect your decision. I am okay with that. But I'm not going to lie and say I'm not disappointed, but I'm disappointed, but I'm totally okay with that. And no, I did not trick Moo into saying that. It's just, you know, the randomness of the way, you know, I assume the way it works is that characters have different values, and so it's all about the string of characters. Like if I said Xate with an exclamation mark, or maybe Xate with a full stop, it might be different. But Xate, which is who you are, we have Moose says mostly that there is under 10% love between Will Cook for board games and everything. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe Will Cook for board games is the answer. Maybe you need to shed this and go and be Xate. Because, you know, there was less love between me and Will Cook for board games than there was between me and Xate, if you remember. Anyway, so there's yeah, it's all weird. Let's not think about it too much. Anyway, that is the recent highlights and games played. Has anyone else been playing anything else? Let us know. And brilliant thing, what's the little thing which is brilliant? I am going to share the same thing that I talked about on Twitter this morning, which was, what was it? Oh yeah, it was sharing a game you love with someone. And if they love it, then great, that's something that you might be able to enjoy together. If they don't love it, then, you know, you learn more about them. Like here, where I learned more about McCall and Chris, because it is a social game, but it wasn't quite what McCall wanted. And McCall's like, oh, this is just making me anxious. And then, like, it was increasingly stressful. But maybe next time when there's a bit more familiarity with the roles, or when there's more people and more opportunity to play. And I think that's it. Like, games affording us the opportunity to learn about each other, to share those moments. And I think that's it. That it's not just about, hey, this is a game and we are all seriously impressed by the fact that there's actually a fairly thinky puzzle in how to optimize these cards to this thing. And you need to spend a fair bits of time drawing cards a la Ticket to Ride and building up a big hand and then going for a thing. And honestly, I wonder if the strategy is just to get literally as many cards as you need, because unless someone else goes for those achievements before you, there's no harm in going for them after. But again, I am going to just play. I know it's not according to the rules, but I will just kind of play it going round and seeing how quickly I get to win. But after last night, it's also learning about humanity, learning about the way that people appreciate different things, because let's talk about reviews. Like, we can listen or read or watch a review in order to learn about a game. And that's totally fine. That's a totally lovely thing. And that's a perfectly valid thing. I mean, I am for sure sometimes when I'm watching a lot of stuff from Bauer's Game Corner, or I saw something like from Richard Simpson last night, that banana is loaded. And I was like, what's that all about? And I watched it and I was like, well, that didn't tell me anything about that game. And then I went on Board Game Geek and I was like, well, that doesn't tell me anything about that game. And maybe I could have gone on to the Kickstarter to see if they had any instructional videos. So it's marginally cute. And then, but then that got me thinking that maybe Kitty Cataclysm is too complicated for Richard Simpson's son. And maybe I need to make like a version suitable for 5-year-olds. Like a version suitable where I'm trying to work out how to simplify that even further. And, I think I've got some ideas. And anyway, but like the point is that you learn about other people, learning about psychology, learning about how people work. And I think that's the thing. Like, I started off like this whole journey in my life being amazed with video games. Like, back in the day, my first memory is of a Spectrum loading screen. And then I loved going to friends who had a computer and then we played like a side-scrolling platformer or a shoot 'em up or Worms or whatever they were wanting to play. It was like this entire world behind the screen. I like that Prince of Persia. It was like an entire story, and like there's the time, and like this is the old school. I know there isn't time travel, but it's like, oh, you need to rescue the princess within this amount of time, and the time is constantly tick 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 ticking away. And then like there's the shadow and all sorts of things, and it sparks the imagination. And it's like an entire world behind your screen. And then I was like, oh wow, board games capture little bits of that. And I wanted to be a game designer, and it was all about the mechanisms and the systems and all of that. And I know that game theory isn't about games, but like how people would behave in this thing. And then realizing, hey, wait a minute, game theory that's like only if people are robots, and people don't behave in that way in reality. And then starting to think about psychology. And I think that is ultimately my brilliant thing. And that's the thing that I love, because games, Rocky Road a la mode, if I just played that, I would not understand the psychology of the people that I was playing with. But the thing that I loved about this was the post-game discussion. The fact that, afterwards we were chatting, we were like commenting on what we were trying to do and the different strategies. And then Chris and I really deconstructed, okay, how many actions did our thing save us? How many like our engine building, how many actions did Chris's engine building save Chris? How many actions did I waste by having drawn too many cards? How many actions did Chris waste? And like all sorts of things. And how did I manage to get all the wild cards? Because I got literally every single wild card, 3 for free, boom, in your face. Sorry, that sounds incredibly aggressive, but I guess sometimes I can be when I'm playing a game. I'm sorry, but yeah, but yeah, like, or just talking about it and like kind of playing this and then going outside and having a break and having a lovely time and connecting with your friends. And for me, the connection is as much in the talking about how it was and discussing it and comparing and contrasting, and then also learning about other people, like getting back to the reviews thing, like going back and looking at Rocky Road a la mode, seeing what people think of it, looking at what other people wrote. Now I feel like, okay, I feel like I've established my personal, I don't think that my opinion is likely to shift dramatically in my next few plays, although I've not played the variations, but sort of the base game, I feel like this is how I'm feeling. And then going off and checking what other people thought and saying, hey, are other people feeling the same way? How do other people differ to me? And it's almost that compare and contrast. How are other people different from Bez? And I used to really struggle with this whole thing of, it's such an easy human thing to project yourself onto other people. Think, okay, this is how I work, therefore that's how other people work. And I definitely have some autistic tendencies. I really struggle with, if I don't have a plan and if the plan doesn't happen, I really struggle with that. Sure, I might sometimes be like if someone says, okay, arrive after this time, it's like, okay, can you give me a half-hour range, because I'm going to struggle getting out of the house sometimes. But not everyone feels the same, and kind of understanding how other people are different and building up those human connections and building up that human understanding of how other people are different to myself. And I know that board games are like a small facet of this. I know board games aren't the most important thing, but it's symptomatic of that whole how we are all different. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the brilliant thing, the psychology. So, yep. Going back, Xate says that no matter what Xate types, Moo puts the level low, even if Xate asks about Dutch Yoda. And surely everyone knows that there must be more love between Will Cook for board games and Dutch Yoda. Yoda says their mother will try every game with Yoda, even if it's not in her wheelhouse. Yoda's mum is brilliant. And yeah, like just trying things and learning about each other. And yeah, we've got a discussion of how much people love each other. And hello, Matthew Dunstan. It is lovely to see you. I am just having a friendly Friday forum. If you want to join me on camera, you are welcome, because that is the way that the... Wait, did I... Okay, I think I got that link correct. If you want to join me, you can. I am currently just rambling about the brilliant thing, which to me is psychology, tying into kind of the games that I played with Chris and McCall last night, and the post-game discussion, looking at reviews, comparing what we think with what other people think, and comparing how we tick with how other people tick. That to me is a brilliant thing, learning about other people and comparing and contrasting. And so that is a thing. So now we go to the questionably quick questions. If anyone has any questions for me, then now is the time to get it in, and I will wrap this up in 5 minutes, or when I run out of questions, whichever happens later, or indeed if I have to wrap up because it's actually the end of the show. So if you have literally any questions, yeah, I should actually probably do a shout out before this and just kind of say, hey, if you have any questions in advance, let me know and then I'll answer them. But assuming that no one has any questions, I will make up a question for myself, which is, do I prefer Taj... No, that's preferring this or that. I've already done that. I already ranked my top 10 games. You can go and watch that episode. That's the problem with this, because I talk about so much that it's like, okay, what's my opinion on blinds? Why are blinds like a board game, Bez? Why are blinds like a board game? Blinds are like a board game because they are both physical objects. Let me give you quickly 10 reasons. I'm just looking at blinds in front of me and thinking, okay, why are blinds like a board game? Thanks for the questions, Matt and J. Foolsguard. I will get to them just after I've done this quick. Okay, they're both physical. There's a lot of intricacy going on in their moving parts. I mean, from the outside, it feels simple. Okay, you pull this, it goes up. But there's a lot of intricacy going on, a lot of thoughtfulness. There's aesthetics. It's not just about function, for sure. Like once you've got the blinds, it has to do and it's within the basic nature of a blind or a board game. There's different genres. You could have the ones with the ropes, or you could have like the twisty, turny, sticky things. How else is a blind like a board game? They're both luxuries, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're both really nice things to have, but not everyone can afford a blind or a board game. That's 5 things. More reason that blind game, they both have 4 letters. That's reason number 6. Okay, I'm starting to run out, so starting to be tricky. Blinds, like board games, blinds cover a window and kind of fill in that light, whereas board games fill in time. I'm really stretching, but this kind of works. Blinds. Okay, here's something. Okay, board games and blinds, both of them, you want to have them on display. Like board blinds, they're always going to be up at the top of your window, and board games, you always want to have them accessible enough to kind of be able to pull out and play. But yeah, what's another thing? There's different people who make them, and I'm sure that there's been some technological improvements in blinds, continually. There we go. So there we go. Now my actual questions from the audience. What's my favorite way to take notes? Book, computer, or painting? It's this, just bits of notes on, bits of paper. That's how I take notes. I think I write faster than I type, and it's definitely quieter, and it feels more naturalistic. I'm able to draw a little, order things more easily, position things. I'm able to, draw little pictures more easily. And so, yeah, for me, pen and paper, or pencil and paper, I would say that. Am I in a remote college in the Highlands? No, I'm not. And hello to the chat, Humpty Dumpling. It's lovely to see you. Well, virtually, of course, but I am not in a remote college. I am in London. I am in London, the capital of the UK. I am in North London. If you know where Finsbury Park is, then I'm relatively close to there. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say. For those who don't know, I was born in Glasgow. Will there ever be a BESCon? J Folsgard, this is a good question. This will take me okay, wow, this is a big question, which is... So, BESCon. I have had a Bez and Friends game day, and that's the closest that I've gotten so far. I did do a wee bit of help for the ACG Con. I did also run the BG DevCon, but that's not really about me. That's about all the playtesters. So I guess I should, and I've also got Bez Day. So I guess I want to explain those three things that I've already had, and then ask exactly what you mean. So do you mean a physical convention like that? A physical convention that's about my games? Is that what you mean? So the things that there have been in chronological order, Bez Day is a day that started off because In a Bind was basically, I decided the release date should be 1st of August. Then it was like, okay, In a Bind Junior, when should that be released? Okay, maybe July, August. Hey, let's make it a tradition. So In a Bind Junior was released on that day. Then Wibble Plus Plus was released on that day before it was turned into the L deck. And now there's a new L game that I say, okay, I'm trying to get it to a certain degree of goodness before 1st of August. And so 1st of August has become now a celebration of, hey, let's get something new out. And I try to do drawings, although this year didn't go as well as I would like. And I try to sit down and do something where people can engage if they want to be there. So in previous years, I've done things at for Bez Day, which is 1st of August. I've been in leisure games in Finchley from 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So 5 years. Is that right? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does that mean that this year was the 6th anniversary? Oh no, because, okay, so, yep, because I'm counting the 0th year. Okay. So yeah, 5 years. I was in Finchley demoing stuff on the day. I was sitting there, and if people weren't around, I was just doing drawings that were solicited via Twitter. And then I would go to the bar on another day, on Tabletop Tuesday, and I'd run an event there, and I'd run events around London and stuff. And so I did that. I've also done pre-release parties, which was a good lot of fun. The other thing that I've done, and BG DevCon was not about me. BG DevCon was basically, hey, what if we got designers to come together but not playtest? You're not allowed to playtest at BG DevCon. So BG DevCon, Matt was there for all 3. I think it's 3. Was it 4? I can't remember anyway. Matt Dunstan was there, and Andy Yangu was the co-organizer who took care of the catering and the venue, and I took a bit more care of the kinds of talks and organizing people and cajoling people. And oh, thank you very much. BG DevCon was great, says Rob, and Matthew, who isn't commenting, but I know Matthew likes it. So otherwise, why would you go to free? And so, yep. But so that's the other thing that I made, which was all about people involved in making board games to come together and chat about making board games. So what I was trying to do by saying you can't playtest was basically removing the ego from it. Because let's say I am playtesting a new game. Whilst I might learn, okay, let's say I'm playtesting Seasonal. Let's pretend that Seasonal is a new game that I make for a winter Christmas themed L deck, because we decided a week ago that that's something that I should do at some point. But anyway, I playtest it, and of course I'm learning from it, and I'm there over the course of the Friday or the Sunday or the Monday evening or whatever playtest I go to. I'm there to help others as well, but there's obviously the ego, and there's obviously the, hey, I want to make my game the best it can be. But then when it's, hey, we are not allowed to test any of our own games. This is not about promotion. This is about, and yes, you can do a, look, I did do all the things that my story about Yogi, but like at this point, me talking about it to another 12 designers isn't going to affect the financial success of that. And it's called BG DevCon because it's board game development convention. So no playtesting, because the point is you talk about it. You talk about how can we do things better? How can we do this better? And it's not about making the game that you're working on right now better. It's from a selfish perspective, it's about making every game that you're ever making in the future forever better. So that is a definite thing. And everyone, I will get to your questions in a wee bit, but I just want to give, where is this? Will there ever be a BezCon? Anyway, so that's BG DevCon. I hope I've explained that well enough. And then finally, there's Bez and Friends Game Day. Now, Bez and Friends Game Day was born from the fact that I felt at UK Games Expo that I didn't actually have any real increase in people watching me. I felt like once you have everyone doing a thing on a weekend, that's not of benefit to anyone. I feel like with the way we are, we should probably just, okay, this publisher does this thing on one weekend, another publisher does it on another weekend, and hey, we're always going to be clashing with someone because there's more than 52 publishers in the world. But and I'm glad that you're on board with BG DevCon. And but yeah, Bez and Friends Game Day, it was basically just, hey, let's shrink it down. Let's have a menu of what we are all going to play. Let's have a menu of what we're all going to do. Sorry about this. I'm just having to plug myself in because it turns out that after about 70 minutes, the battery runs out, even if I'm at 100%. So it would be fine if this were a 70-minute show. So yeah, Bez and Friends Game Day, it was inspired by my reaction to other digital events. It was inspired largely by what other people had said. In big part, Gil Hova. I want to give a big shout out to Gil Hova, who was saying, hey, what we really should have is one track of things to be played and one track of, Twitch stream, just two options. And so it's kind of more corralling people to do the same thing. And then that's why for the first one, I had, a big game at the start. And yes, Gil Hova is awesome, super awesome. Big shout out to Gil Hova, who Gil Hova inspired Wibble. And Wibble, if Wibble is the reason that this exists, and then I realized that many other games could be played with it, which is why the borders and the numbers exist also. Anyway, so Gilhova, if it were not for the L deck, and Gil is, yeah, I've got things planned with Gil. I don't want to talk about that right now publicly, but yeah. So, yeah, talking about Gilhova, oh, yeah. So at the start of the day, it was like, okay, everyone play this big party game. There can be 15 of us playing this game, and then next it was like, okay, we've got Alan Paul's little 2-player game. It's a bit more strategic. It's a bit more complex. Someone like Sate, who only likes complex strategic games, will hopefully enjoy this. Okay, what's next? Okay, we've got another lighter game, and something like we had Dead and Breakfast from the Shaws, and then what was next? We had what was the fourth game? I feel bad forgetting this now. The fifth one was something from me. There was, oh yes, Isaac, for goodness sake, Isaac Shalev brought over Q4U, and this is yeah. So this was a lovely thing. I'm doing it again on 9th of January. So in theory, there is already a BezCon. That is it. I don't think I would. Yeah, I've already had small events, which is like, hey, let's all play this game, like a release party. I've done that, but like a proper convention of like 50 people or 100 people, like all playing stuff that I've endorsed or I've played. I'm never going to say never, but probably not. And if I were to start another convention in Thailand or something, or somewhere, let's say I was somewhere, I was, oh, there's no convention, someone should start it, maybe I'll do it. I think that it would be more likely to be more a group effort, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so that is that question. Now let's go back to other things. I'll do them in chronological order. So yes, what am I doing in London? I've been living here for the past 8-ish, 9, 10 years. Will I keep streaming when I go to Thailand? Probably in some sort of manner. I do not believe that I will stream 25% as much as I do currently. I believe I will stream far less. However, I do believe that I will want to use this method to continue keeping in touch somehow with some people. Maybe I'll, I don't know, I might do make a sort of production studio and do like step up the production values and do better like reviews and stuff and playthroughs and whatnot. And like, if I get a thing, I could see myself being like, okay, hey people, if you want some developmental help, if you want some playtesting, then let me know, and that could be part of the stream notes. In terms of the daily streaming, it will completely change. If I'm streaming at all, it will completely change. I don't know exactly what. I don't have a solid plan, but yeah. You've had your time, you've had your power, you've yet to have your finest hour. Board games. I assume this is meant to be some sort of music. Oh, but not sure of the melody. Anyway, so will I keep streaming? Would I play with a Ouija board? Yeah, I have nothing against it. I don't believe that they have any supernatural power personally. Was called it's the most complex board game ever. No, I would say that Campaign for North Africa is probably more complex. Yep, and Nomic, I would say, is more complex. Nomic has a lot more going on. And Nomic is Campaign for North Africa being a game that takes literally 30 days to play. I mean, people have done it as like an extended holiday. And Nomic is a game in which you are changing the rules of the game to make it so that the rules allow you to play the game. It's not like Flux, where Flux, it's always, you need to have these two things to win, and it's just you need to make sure that what you've got in front of you, Matt. But Nomic, the actual rules completely change, and people are working out how to change the rules for a system of voting and resources. I do not know what you mean by this. I'm starting to wonder, are you a bot, Humpty Dumpling? Let me know where you are from, Humpty Dumpling, because I'm starting to wonder if you are a robot of some sort. And yeah, I am kind of what? Because according to this, there are, yeah, I assume like if there's people still in the castle, it's yeah. This is kind of my reaction. Um, is the heyday of the board game long gone? No, I would completely disagree. I would say that we continue to see many new innovations. For example, look at Fireball Island, modern version versus old version. It is clearly doing well. Like the fact that, yeah, frankly, I can manage to survive. I don't earn a lot of money, but 95% of my income is thanks to one game. So, I think that, board games are still doing well. And the fact that, there's multiple people like Matthew also could be full-time board game employed if they want. Yeah, Humpty Dumpling, where are you from? Um, that's what I want to ask. Because I mean, these are really good questions. It's just like a bit odd that you're not kind of replying to anyone. Um, so, Rob, let me know what you're up to here, what you do. So, I think I am going to say very quickly, no, I have no plans to join any revolutions. I, as a whatever I am not, whatever I believe, I do not think it's appropriate for someone to go in and will I get married? No, I have no plans to get married. And I hope that you're having a good day, Humpty Dumpling. Have I been working on any new designs? No, sadly. The truth is that I've just felt really I've just been struggling recently. Like when I say recently, I pretty much mean since Aircon. I think that I've been struggling, if I'm being honest, since Saturday, since Friday night. I can't remember whatever Friday night was at Aircon. And then, okay, oh, it's from Radio Gaga. All we need is many more board games. Many more board games. I don't know the tune. You've had your time. You've had your power. You've yet to have your finest hour. Board games, we love you. I don't. That's the thing. Like, I would need to listen to the melody. That, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, talking about new designs, I wanted to mention, where's my sad stuff banner? It's down at the bottom. So yeah, Seize the Power. It was meant to go to festival, and on Friday night at Aircon, which was back in March, we got the announcement that festival had officially been cancelled, and that was the time when the virus, when the whole pandemic suddenly felt real to me. And I was like, oh dear. I might have said something profane, but essentially I was like, wow, this is sad. And I am incredibly sad that I will not get to go to festival. And I mean, in theory, I don't know if I'll ever go to festival. It might not happen next year, and then I'll be gone, and that's a bit sad. And it's like all those things that was planned, like all those meetings planned, and all those, hanging out with people. And yeah, I think I played the game on Friday, and then I didn't play it on Saturday. And honestly, like on Saturday, I cried a bit. And on Saturday, I had, a bit of a cry, and like one of my volunteers, like Pippa, like gave me a proper hug, and like I really appreciated it. I wasn't hugging everyone, just like, a couple of people, and it, it was a weird thing back in that day, like Aircon. And it's like that was where it was turning from, hey, I'm not going to hug people. Like normally hug. I hug you, Andrew Harmon. I would hug you. Jason Freud from Lucky Duck Games. I would hug you. You know, everyone, frankly. I would hug everyone and anyone at a convention. And like I would, who was willing. And I would like basically give a high five. And then we like going round, we basically, okay, we did the elbow tap, and then it was like, okay, elbow tap, and then as I went round, I kind of slalomed round, I said hello to everyone, and then it got longer and longer, and so it was elbow, elbow, foot, foot, jazz hands, that, and then like there was a spinny round bit, and then it got like toned back a bit, which is like my method of greeting people now. It's just elbow, elbow, ankle, ankle, jazz hands. And so you don't actually make contact with your hands, but you still feel like you've had that physical contact, and it's not as good as a high five, but it's almost. And like I could see this as like something that I would want to maintain in future conventions. And yeah. And yeah, thanks, Matthew. And it's all about going, and then so finding out that I wasn't going to get to go to festival, and then playtesting Seize the Power, and my heart wasn't in it, and like promoting it. And on Saturday, I don't think it even happened, but then on Sunday, had a bunch of people again to playtest it. Dave came back to try it, and it worked well. But honestly, I'm just aware that from that point on, I've just not been good at keeping notes. It's been like something dropped out of me, and I've still not unpacked from Aircon. True story. I've got a blue suitcase there, which it's not red, but I've still got. I took out the clothes, but there's still wee bits that I probably should unpack. Yeah, from March. But yeah, and it's telling me to unpack. Why? You're not the boss of me. I mean, the truth is that like normally there's like wee things that get left in the suitcase until next time that I need to go to. No, I've not had breakfast. I'm going to have something nice today. I'm going to have treat myself to a wee takeaway, and I don't know. It's been like just everything fell apart, and honestly, sorry, I feel like I'm going to cry at this point, and this is incredibly difficult. I think that I'm still. Yeah. It's a minute. Oh, what did they say? Oh, shoot. I just saw the blocked term. Yeah, thank you for adding that blocked term. That's really, oh my God. Yeah, if anyone's watching, there are certain terms that it's just not okay to say, for goodness sake. Sorry, I'm going to. Yeah, oh, gosh. Yeah, yeah. Look, I am going to shoot. Did I show anything too personal? No, I don't think I did. That's good. Okay, let me stop sharing that thing and start sharing something else. Um, I don't know how to express it, but I think after the thing, I'm just going to give a quick recap of how life's been for me the past few months, because it's been a mixture of lovely and annoying. Like, I feel like so ineffectual. It feels like parts of my mind has just been ripped out, and I'm just not able to do um yeah. Anyway, I want to say thank you to people who've gotten my back. I want to say yes, some terms are just not okay. And whilst it is questionably quick questions, please don't be asking about, yeah, oh, yeah, I think that please don't be asking about marriage or sex or, I am fairly open. Look, I've told you that there's someone with whom I'm hoping to have a third date, and that's been really, really nice for me. That honestly, there's two people that I'm in contact with, um, in a romantic level that I went, and one of them we're planning a third date. One of them I've not even met, but are shy to even talk. So yeah, I told them I'm heading off, and we've had some good chats, which I think are incredibly shy. So that's like just even talking on video chats is like a big step for them. And I am quite open with these things, but please respect that there is a level. Like, I don't want to talk about unless yeah, at least kind of preface it in some way. Like, I feel like talking about gender identity, talking about sex, there's kind of a line. And yeah, if you use a transphobic, if you use a xenophobic term, there's some xenophobic terms that's, no. Anyway, thank you very much for the hugs. And look, and I'm aware that putting this stuff on the internet, it's for everyone, and like but and that's the thing. Like, okay, so after the thing, I'm able to say publicly it got signed by ITB. It was signed by Inside the Box, and frankly, it isn't. Everyone involved, if I'm going to be honest, has not done the best job. Like, and I think it's easy to say, hey, 2020, but genuinely, that's the reason. Like, it took longer for Inside the Box to get the Tabletopia stuff made than it should have. And since then, Tiz and I were meant to do some playtesting, and contractually, if we do certain things, then we are entitled to a slightly higher percentage. If we don't do things, then we're entitled to a slightly lower percentage. And it's still a game that we're really proud of. But it's like, now I think about it, it's got like really... I don't know if I'll be able to test that online, like just emotionally. Right now, it's too difficult. Because, look, Seize the Power, I'm really proud of it. I think And part of it is, yeah, that negotiation style of game, it's going to be totally different. It could sort of work. It could be a facsimile of it. We could test the dynamics of how viable is it to win, but that's such a small part. We can't. And when I go to Thailand, I hope that one day I'll be able to get, maybe Chris McCall and Layla together to test it and be like, hey, this isn't like paid work or anything, but I'll make a nice meal for you. And that might help me get back into it. That's what, yeah, that's the thing. The King's College London thing, I've not done any work on it since March, and frankly, I'm really happy that it's been cancelled, because if I found out that it was going to go ahead in January and we had to do it, I don't think I'd be able to actually, I don't know if I'd be in a state to do the work for that. And I'm really proud of what we did for King's College London, and I'm really sad that it's not going to ever be a public thing. Like, me and Sarah Jury, we worked so hard on that. It's like, it's that, it felt like, sorry, honestly, it felt like 2020 was going to be the, it felt like 2020 was going to be the year that I managed to get more games out there. I went to Nuremberg. I learned what people are wanting. I got some rejections. It was all good. I got invited back. And then I went to Cannes, and I got like loads. I got free companies like taking stuff. Yeah. I had this one game that I was really proud of, that I really feel could sell 100,000 copies. I don't know if it could sell. You never know how much something could sell, but I feel like it was a really, really good game. I'm really, really proud of it. It is language dependent, so you'd need to. It's not a good game for learning languages because you only learn 4 words, but it's really easy to translate. You need to reprint everything, but that's fine. You need to translate 4 words. No, wait. 8 words, sorry, 8 words. Anyway, I'm not going to explain the game because it is so simple. I'm really, really proud of it. And, Cocktail Games took it and said it was really good, and Helvetic took it and said it was really good, and then Cocktail Games said, oh, we're sorry, we can't test this with children because of this virus. And then Helvetic got in touch and said, hey, what's going on? And they got in touch just before Essen to chase me up, and yeah, it's really, I felt like I was on the cusp of like it's weird because I have one financially successful game, and so in a lot of ways I don't feel like in having gotten that advance for and I've for Seize the Power made me feel like, okay, I am legitimately a game designer. That really benefited me emotionally a lot. And I still believe that it could be a great game. And I still believe that Rose and Peter will do a great job of it. I genuinely believe that the problems that we have had are all due to 2020. And it's just that 1-2 punch of, hey, you're not going to go to festival. Hey, you're not going to be part of this exhibition at and I was talking to Hua Young, who I think I'm having on next week. And Hua Young's an artist and made Probationary, a kind of game about conveying the lived life of people on the probation system. And that was a lovely thing. And I met Hua Young. I think, Matthew, you were there at the time at that Now Play This festival. And then Hua Young was talking. And then I chatted to Hua Young. And yeah, that was, and Hua Young said, oh, I saw your thing at King's College London in the Science Gallery. And I was like, yeah, it was on the wall, but that wasn't the art. That wasn't what I wanted to show people. That was just, and Matthew remembers that, yeah. Sorry, I'm going. Yeah, this is clean. Anyway, so while young, um, wonderful person. We'll get to meet them and we'll have a nice chat, and it'll be lovely to chat. They're currently based in Korea. They moved away for reasons. Anyway, my point is that I just talked to them like about a month ago, and then he said, "Oh, I saw your thing before I left London." So yeah, that was a thing. But that's like someone saying, "Oh, I saw your game in a shop," but they didn't really see your game. It's like they saw the outside of the box. You know what I mean? It's like they didn't really experience the art. And when we make something, we want other people to experience it. I mean, it's that little egocentric part of us that wants that thing to be experienced by other people. I mean, I know that, there's a few game designers and like, Xate's made some games and Matthew's made some games and Rob's made some games and Yoda, I don't know if you've made any games, but I, who else is still in chat? Let me, Jay, but yeah, you've got that, oh, sorry, for a moment I thought someone had come back and then I just realized I'd scrolled back. But anyway, the point is that we want people to play the games, and let me know, how do you feel? Do you kind of ultimately want people to play the games? I mean, I assume so. Like, I assume that if people are playing, what's a game of yours that I can talk about, Xate? What what was the name of that game which was basically like in a bind, but we're using the L deck? Actionable? You know that game that, it's definitely not in the top 5 games. Actionable, follow but yeah, presumably like you do have games that you've designed. You do have games that are designed, and do you not like feel like you want like people to enjoy them and have fun? Like if someone's saying like, I saw your game, if they said, oh, I saw your game, and then it was like, okay, I saw that, I read the rules of your game, that's not really experiencing the game. Do you get what I mean? Do you kind of follow what I'm talking about? And it's like I thought my painting was going to be in a gallery, and then instead all it was like my name and the name of the painting. And sure, it's nice to have that credit. And yes, exactly, Rob. Unpublished games are still games, and I would love someone to play. I mean, especially with the L deck, like what is a published game there? Even it's like I could probably make a Board Game Geek page for one of your games tomorrow, Xate, and at least one of them probably deserves it. And the truth is that, like, I'm feeling a lot of guilt. I'm feeling a lot of guilt for how I've been going. And I'm still feeling anger. No, this is not true. Like, I can just say that, yeah, unpublished games are still games. Anyway, for Matthew and Rob, like how, and Xates, if you're willing to share, and anyone else who might be watching who is willing to share, who's worked on games, like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like having a poster that says this is the way the game is, these are the rules of the game, this is a broad overview of the game, like that's not experiencing it, is it? And yeah, basically we've worked a lot, and this is what happens all the time in the AAA game industry, whether it's board games, although what AAA board games are there, honestly? I mean, okay, yep, it's some IPs that get banned and maybe Magic the Gathering. I mean, yeah, what board games could you call AAA? It's like, but yeah, for sure, all sorts of video games where there's a more direct, okay, we're going to pay you to work on this thing and then it's going to get cancelled. Like I've started developing and for hire a couple of games that have been cancelled, but it wasn't like such a big investment. This was a game with Sarah Jury about the lived experience of trans people. It was incredibly personal, and I feel like we poured a lot of ourselves in there. It was about transphobia. It was about xenophobia. It was like something that, honestly, like all just watching the final playthrough of it, like the final playtest, which had 30 people, I believe, like it was 20, 30, something along those lines, was a big LARP. Anyway, so the actual thing was meant to be 30, 40, but like first time, like when I was like, wow, this is a conversation that it's dredging up so many memories, and it was really emotionally affecting. And I think that's part of it as well. Like both of these games, it's not just like, I don't want to say just entertainment, because yogi is just entertainment. And there's massive value in that. There's massive value in just entertainment, whether it's photosynthesis or Taj Mahal or Corridor or Kitty Cataclysm or the adventure series from like Mafia, whatever. You know what I mean? But for sure, when it's something that's like a deeply personal thing and then it gets cancelled and then you're and sure it might be Seize the Power, I hope does get published one day, and Sarah Jury was sure to make sure that we have the rights to use the material we developed for challenging structures. We can potentially play it at a future LARP festival. Will we ever be able to do it? And Rob had a game that had a 30-copy pre-release edition that got some people excited, and we did a lot of work on that, and a related game, and then it all fell through. It wasn't really a personal project like yours, but still disappointing. Anyway, so since then, what have I been doing? Development-wise, yeah, you know what I've developed? I've developed, last Tuesday, I invented a game that isn't a publishable thing. It's a game that you can have for free. It's we played it on the Tip Top Tabletop Tuesday. Basically, everyone says whether something says a fact, everyone else guesses is it true or not, and then if you guess correctly, you get a point, and if you fool more than half the people, you get a point. That's the entire game. Also, there's questioning after you reveal your facts, and you have to agree to at least one question from every person. And after I mentioned that on Twitter, someone mentioned that, yes, it's very much to the would I like to lie to you. There is one game in there that's basically a team-based version of what I said, but my game is slightly better for Twitch streams. So yeah, I guess I am kind of doing some design and invention of games, but it always feels like it's a second-rate thing because these are second-rate experiences. And I guess that's the thing that we are all, appreciating, that right now, every time we play a game, it's a second-rate experience, and it's incredibly heart-wrenching because here's something that should be fun, but I can't hear Tom Cauldron properly because of the technology. Half the time that Tom Cauldron comes on screen, I can't hear half of what Tom's saying, and apparently everyone else can. Apparently, we have no idea what it is between Sheffield and London, like some sort of interchange or something. I don't know, but apparently it goes to the viewers okay, so at least, but it's kind of tiring in a lot of ways. And I just find there's a reason why I've not played games with Charlie or Alan online, really. Why I've not joined them, why I said, Essen, I'm not even going to, I didn't even go there. I didn't even try playing any of the games because for me, it's just, it's too heart-wrenching. I realize that if I'm playing sure, I might play Party Pack, and if I'm playing a solo game, I do enjoy playing it solo whilst having some people watch on, and that was kind of fun. And Rob says, I have all these fun little social games that could make a nice book. Like, honestly, I was thinking, okay, if I write it up, I could get, say, to Tabletop Gaming Mag that, hey, this is a fun thing to put into your little thing. Skyping and video conferencing is mentally more draining because of the micro delays and things like this, says Matthew Dunstan. And it's that the grief. Like when it's, I love you all so much. Like everyone who's chatting along, Rob and Matthew and Xate, and also Elaine who was here earlier. Like I love you so much. And like, I would love to like, I don't know, hug you. And this is good. And it's gotten to the point where I've had a low day where I've just been in bed. Thank you very much. And I've been in bed with basically toothache and unable to do anything for an entire day. And now you're just teasing me. And where was it? Something that Sate said, I may goof off and be sarcastic and cheesy, but when it comes down to real stuff, I am the person there with a sword guarding your back, and I will fight when I need to. And yeah, you need to get the affiliate, because let me show you. You don't need to actually go affiliate, because if you get enough people, these are all the icons that you get on Twitch. So yeah, on Twitch, if you manage to stream for a certain number of hours and you get an average of 3 people, so I think we could I think we could totally get you 3 people, and then you could actually show your sword and your shield. It's just like a way of, hey, I could be affiliate, but I've chosen not to. Yeah, even if you don't actually accept the affiliate, you still get to use those things. But yeah, I'm happy for you to wield my swords, Xate. You're my main sword wielder. Yeah, what was I even talking about? Yeah. Oh, bloomin' neck. It's 11:52 UK time. Yeah. Wow. This has been really therapeutic. Thank you everyone for listening. Okay, wow, I didn't think that I was going to go on for so long. But yeah, I guess this entire show mainly has been sad stuff. So let me recap and also put this into the laundry basket. Let me see if I can get... Boom! Yes. Can you actually see the... No, you can't quite see it. It says just off to the right of the mirror. But, yep, that is just there. You can see my dressing gown and a couple of masks, because I have 3 masks, and, that's where I hung them up to wash after I washed them. That's my red towel, and that's my laundry basket where I chucked it. No, that is my room now. Sad stuff and pecan pie. Wait, that is sad for the rest of you. Everyone else, you have... Oh, I have 4 masks, but actually, you know what? In that case, I have 5 masks. I have 3 masks that I am using, because I really like these strings. They kind of go around. I like the strings when they don't go around the ears. I like the strings when they go around the back of the head. Anyway, not questionably quick questions, but extremely extended emotions, says Rob. So yeah, that is pretty much the end of the show. And I hope that... Thank you for indulging me. So wrap up. What did I talk about? I answered questions. I talked about, conventions and I talked about enjoying things before conventions and after conventions and meals, and we talked about free labour and looking after our helpers and volunteers very briefly. Then we talked for quite a while about what conventions I have facilitated. Then we talked for quite a while about what I've been doing. And then I would like to talk about that next Friday. I mean, if other people want to come on and talk about stuff, that's fine, but maybe next Friday I'll just kind of resume talking, because I only really talked about the grief that I felt at having seized the power and challenging structures not exhibit in the manner that I thought they would. Because for me, going to festival, even though it wasn't going to be a published game, it was like a big outing. Do you know what I mean? And since then, honestly, like, streaming has been my lifeline. Twitch has been my lifeline. Like, finding people who come and join me, like Matthew. Did I actually send you a message, Matthew? I really want to have you on my show again. Anytime you want to come on, if like, I would love to have you be part of a group discussion or any date that's empty. A lot of December, I might just do silly things. I might avoid talking about things like, I know in the past we've occasionally talked about genocide or xenophobia or, you know, things like that, but, or, you know, representation of women and things like that's problematic. But I would like to, for the next month and a half, maybe be a little bit more light-hearted, relatively speaking. So we are going to be talking about taking care of people and playtesters and stuff. But yeah, if you want to talk, come on, talk about like one genre of game. Like, we could talk about, hey, narrative-based games, because I hear that you're working on some of them. And yeah, just for that. Oh, let's oh, I'm going to go and check how it's say it's Instagram right now. Instagram. We're checking out Instagram. We're checking out Instagram. We are doing it live. And I'm going to see if I can see a pecan pie. And I totally can. Man, this is envy-inducing. Yes, it completely is. Yep, very much envy-inducing. And anyway, I have really enjoyed talking about all this. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And this was Xate's Tea Strainer, which is very similar to Calvin Wong Saloons, and Eldec for Scale. And yeah, I'm just, wow, man. Yep. I'm just shaking my head because I'm just thinking, man, I would really, really, really like something like that. Okay, so now, if you want to check me out, you know all the links. I'm not even going to read them out today. I'm just going to keep them going. Definitely do join the Discord if you haven't already. stuffwithbeds.com/Discord. I do thank you so much, everyone. You have been amazing. And I want to say it's over to you for just a couple of minutes. Over to you. What are you up to? You can share anything, but only if you want to. So we've already had sharings of pecan pies. This is amazing. Like, I am seriously impressed by your cooking. Will Cook for Board Games. Like, I think that your username is very well chosen because you have a lot to commend about your cooking. You also have a lot to commend about your board game design skills. And I don't think you give yourself enough credit. And yeah, so what are we looking forward to? What are we going to do after this stream? I am going to have something to eat, I think. And then 1 p.m. I'm going to be talking to Jason as always. And, you know, I might like just relax because I've not done a lot of things this week that I plan to do. I've got to send some invoices. I've got like multiple people that I need to ask for money including, yeah. Snails and Grails playtesting this afternoon, and hopefully Matt's stream afterwards because Matt is indeed streaming this afternoon. Xate says it's easy to make, but pecans, vanilla, and corn syrup are not things I can get, or not things that Xate can get. Did you substitute, or did you have to have them specially sent over? Because we cannot get corn syrup in the UK either. I don't believe it is. I've never seen it really here. No, how am I going to get corn syrup? How am I going to do? Corn syrup isn't something that Rob's looked for, but I have looked for it. I've not been able to find it. It's something that I would end up having to order online, which kind of defeats the purpose. Anyway, I can bring you Schwartz and stuff. I do plan to come over. I hear that there is a vaccine on the way. I heard that they are already, within the next few weeks, actually this year, they're rolling it out in the UK, and Germany is rolling it out in January, so the end is very close. I am going to go over, but, you know, yes, to hell with the guilt. To hell with the guilt. Can I say that? That's not too blasphemous, is it? Yeah, I'm going to send all the unnecessary guilt, burn it to the fire. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, don't you? Anyway, so for the next streams, look at stuffbeds.com/streams. Tomorrow I am chatting to, oh my gosh, who am I? Oh, Quang. Oh my gosh, I'm meeting Quang. So Quang is someone that lives very close to Jessica Jane Sankey, who you know from my stream. Jess kind of chats occasionally and is a VIP, and also Jess was on the show one time and it was all sorts of chaos. Quang, we're going to get to know Quang tomorrow, and then Sunday I'll be reviewing stuff, and then I'll put my thing on Instagram. Share, spread the word. Golden, hello, Rail. Oh shoot, oh man, thank you for popping in. I almost forgot. Where's my Instagram window? Let me actually, yeah, I was going to announce this hashtag Bears competition. So I announced I did a competition a while back, and I had Rail here who joins in, and this is me in a pose where I said what you need to do is you need to touch your ear, nose, chin, and knee, which shouldn't be too hard for most people. I mean, you could even do it with two hands if you really want. Did I say with one hand? I just said all at the same time and take a photo. So if you can't do it with one hand, then you need to use a photo with a timer. And I did also say, if you, for the sake of accessibility, if you are unable to do the above, then I will accept a drawing, even if it's a stick figure. Competition is open to everyone. I will pick a winner at the start of December, and the winner is Real Brewster. So congratulations. I need to double check. So Real says that. Did you actually reply? Yeah, they apparently had leather. Wait, my collect. Oh, so, oh yeah, you didn't even touch your chin. You know what? I'm still allowing it. So, thank you very much for joining in, Matthew. But Real Brewster, I am going to send you a couple of games. I'm going to send you. I am going to send you, if assuming you don't have Yogi Guru or Kitty Cataclysm, how many people do you actually have? Real, how many people do you have living with you? How many people are you actually able to play with? I'll send you. You already have an L deck, don't you? You have, which ones did you say you have? Yeah, you've got an L deck. Cool. So I'll send you over Yogi Guru and Kitty Cataclysm. Please send me a private message with your address, and I will post it next week. Okay, you and your housemate, well, Sates can attest to the fact that Kitty Cataclysm can play two-player. It's not the best thing at two-player, but I enjoy it at two-player, and I hope that you enjoy it too. And Yogi Guru, I feel like, but yeah, congratulations, and thank you very much for entering, and that was my special giveaway. And so thank you very much. I will quickly check to see who else is on Twitch, to see those who are watching live. What can I recommend? I will... Oh, Familiar Fry is playing. Okay. In that case, I am going to suggest we raid Familiar Fry, and I have the power, so you can't stop me. Raid Familiar Fry. And Familiar Fry is a musician. They are quite skilled and they do songs on request. Well, I didn't check if they're doing songs on request today specifically or if they're about to stop even. Wait, can say? Do you actually have that power? Seriously, you better not stop me. Otherwise, I assume you're just teasing. But anyway, thank you, everyone. You're awesome. So much love. And the only thing left to do is to say bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. Now to get on with our day. Bye, 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 bye. I hope you've enjoyed our stay. Bye, 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 bye. This is goodbye for now. Bye, 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 bye. And now we're heading out. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thanks for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye, everyone. Bye.